a retro wave of games, right? So nowadays, it feels like you're missing the feeling when you go to an arcade place and you have all those, you know, big games standing there next to the wall, and you just want to have that feeling back, right, at home.
Well, somehow yes, but obviously being this time, you need to have a very lengthy career mode.
Yes,
you have to have plenty of content. So it's more about the vibe than actually that kind of style. And yes, you might find some nods to some other old games, but we're trying to find our unique style.
Okay, so you said that we are focusing on the career mode, right?
Yes.
So what are the main points in the career mode?
Well, there is a lot of variation because there are 4 main disciplines. You have, like this one, this is Alaska. You have very wide environments, and this is not actually a track, it's like navigating the environment. Then you have very different like stadium tracks or rallycross stages, so lots of variation. The career mode is quite unique because it's something like a fictional TV show. It's something hosted by Gravel TV, so inside there you'll be running through the episodes. Each episode has a theme and comprises several events. You'll eventually meet the 4 bosses. The 4 bosses are the specialists of each discipline, and the final boss that is the winner of the previous year of the show. So lots of game modes, lots of different conditions, lots of different way to approach maybe the same track at night or raining or with a different challenge or a different goal. So lots of things going on in there.
Basically become a superstar of racing.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. You're absolutely right. Can you tell me more about, is there customization? Is there any of that going on within the game?
The cars are real. We have been working with the manufacturers to be able to create, alongside with the real liveries, some custom-made liveries. There is no actual focus on customization.
Really?
We are trying to convey a feeling of go
this
straight,
is a real car.
go to action, go directly there. So we have been experimenting a lot because it's our second game with the Unreal Engine. So we've moved from our in-house engine to the Unreal. So it's been a chance to experiment on game modes, on technical side. So lots of things going on, and we've tried to capture that immediate feeling of the game.
So basically you want to focus on gameplay.
Yes, absolutely. And there's so much variation because it might seem some kind of nod to a game like, I don't know, MotorStorm in here, but later on you'll be in a twisted track on a stadium, so something completely different. We're trying to create like a comprehensive off-road experience.
Okay, well, I'm sure that there's a multiplayer in it, right? But how it works with the career mode? Is it connected?
It's not connected. We are creating a multiplayer, but it's got several dedicated game modes. We've got obviously the quick race and the championship. We are working also on Capture the Flag and another game mode that is called King Run. It's similar to Capture the Flag, but there are multiple crowns around, and you have to win by capturing one of the crowns and keeping on your car to the longest time possible. So we are trying to find game modes that are for maybe some more hardcore and something like a time filler for a variation in there.
So like a more competitive aspect as well. For those are team-based, or is it like one-to-one?
No, it's one-to-one. So it's you're on your own. And one other thing is talking about the cars. The cars are on different categories. So you have here you have a rally car. You have rally cars from the present. You have vintage rally cars that fans always want. But you have also other kinds of vehicles like cross-country SUVs for tuned for racing, or even the big trophy trucks. So mixing up things like a trophy truck in a stadium can turn into something hellish race, because big boys in tight space can turn into nightmare. So there's a lot of things, of different things you can try and combine together in this game.
All right, when can we test the gameplay of this? Because it sounds amazing.
It's going to be out in early 2018. So we are working and still producing the game, tuning some aspects. What you see is pretty much, I don't know, very quite close to a final level of quality. but there's still very much margin to optimization and quality increasing. But we're very, very satisfied with what Unreal Engine allows to do. So we are one of the first companies to produce racing games of high level of quality with the Unreal Engine. So we're working very close to them, and we are doing very, very quick progress to create such a kind of game. It's not easy because usually Unreal is used for other kinds of games, but we're finding a way to make a very, very nice looking game.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you if you...
Yeah, I mean, it is beautiful. That's interesting because you're saying Unreal's used for all sorts of other action games. What makes it so good to work with for racing?
Two main topics. One of the graphics, because it allows you to have a lot of power on top for displaying very nice environments, very detailed cars. And the second thing is not so evident, but you have some amazing tools for production. So you can create the environments very quick, and most important, you can experiment. It's not like it's very lengthy to create something, so you don't have time to waste. You can do and iterate very fast. So you can do experiments like, this truck doesn't play very good. Let's try to move away this mountain, these rocks, this wood. So it allows you to test your concepts in a very quick way. So you can move and change the focus of some asset, or even the whole game somehow shift it towards some direction very quickly. And in racing games, it's very important because everything is connected. The handling is not independent from the tracks. It's not independent from the kind of environments you're trying to create. It's everything connected, so you have to strike a balance. And if you want to change, all things need to change together.
Wow. Well, I didn't know that about racing.
I would never follow
I've never thought of that.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Well, you make these things. You make these, right?
Yeah, because let's say you're running in Alaska.
Right.
Alaska, it's supposed to be like woods, low vegetation, rivers.
Right.
If you want to make, I don't know, a stage where you cross rivers and you jump out and in the water, and it doesn't play very good, you have to modify something like the terrain shape or change the route, and it involves lots of changes. Or maybe you're going to tweak the physics to make it handle better on the bumps. So you have lots of options, and usually you have to use all of them together. So that's a lot of work in there.
That is a lot of work. How long does it take to make this the right stage, the right level?
We've started experimenting like a couple of years ago. Yeah,
wow.
Because we had to get in touch with the engine. So it was a complete novelty for us. So we started with experiments, then we started to porting our current assets inside as a test, and then we started developing completely fresh new assets for this game. So lots of time.
So how many tracks will it be there in the game?
We've got 4 disciplines, 18 locations, and 65 tracks. For example, Alaska or Namibia will host 10 tracks each because it's a huge patch of ground where you can, the designers will draw different track layouts. So maybe you can pass from some nice hotspots, like, I don't know, a waterfall, and you don't enter in there right now, but later on in another race, you pass on it. So the different layouts in there. Then we have the rally cross stages. There are 9 of them. There are the wild rushes, and there are 65 tracks and more than 70 cars about.
That's
so
plethora
that's why
of
this game took so long to make. Yeah,
that's it. And combine it with the different weather conditions and light and hours of the day. So the number of combinations is quite huge, and that's why Unreal helps to keep everything in control.
Okay, so I'm the type of guy that when I sit down to a game, I like to max it out and get 100% out of it. How many hours would I have to sacrifice to get that?
Usually the career modes tend to last something like 10 to 15 hours because less would be too short. More than this could be something like many people wouldn't reach the end. But everything you do in the game, as you see, you're piling up some score on the top of the screen when you drift, when you jump, when you do positive things. And this unlocks the cars and liveries. And whatever you do, both in career and in every game mode, you're doing this kind of progression. Instead, the career mode on the Gravel TV in there, you have a stars leveling system where you progress through the events, you earn stars, and you move on. When you unlock an episode, you can tackle the events as you will inside of that. But then you have to reach the barriers for unlocking the new events and reaching the bosses. So we have 2 ways to unlock stuff inside.
Okay. We actually didn't talk about the platforms that the game will be on.
It's going to be available on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. We're planning also for improved versions on the Plus consoles, like
the enhanced version.
Yes,
right.
Still working on there because Unreal allows to do many things like better effects, high resolution, higher frame rate, and we're trying to understand what's best for the players. So it's going to be a tough work until the release date that is early 2018. But we're confident that we are pulling out a very nice and unique racer in the current landscape of racing games, where everybody's moving towards simulation. We're trying to hit the arcade heart of the players.
The niche that is kind of like empty right now.
Yeah, it really is. I keep seeing hashtag steal the show. What does that mean?
It's connected to the Gravel TV concept. So you're going to be asked to progress to be the showmaster. So steal the crown and